Hey guys, it is Top 5 Wednesday time! If you're new in Top 5 Wednesday, it is a Goodreads group originally created by Ginger Reads Laney and Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and is currently hosted by Sam as we speak. This is where they will give us topics to do each Wednesday of the month, and we pick our top 5 in that topic. And of course, they're book-related topics. And unfortunately, I totally missed the first Top 5 Wednesday, and then the second one, I was all set to. The second Wednesday of the month, I was all set to do it, and then that fell through as well. Like, I started to do it, and then it was like, I was having trouble with it. So I decided to skip it. And so I'm going to do the Top 5 Wednesday of the last two Top 5 Wednesdays. I think it's the last two Top 5 Wednesdays of this month, the last month of the year. So our first topic of this first to the last Wednesday of the month, the topic is the 2019 new releases you are anticipating, and I'm always behind with my. I have not gotten into, I'm always one step behind the popular series. I don't get to them until late. So a lot of these are so most of these are, other people have already figured them out. And a lot of them are ones that are coming out, but they are ones that, because people have, have been on BookTube for so long that they've now developed connections and they subscribe to book boxes, so they already have access to these. So I had a little trouble with this. Rascal decided to pop into the my door drives me crazy. So Rascal just popped into the room, and now I was having trouble closing the damn door. So here goes. Here are my top 5 books that I'm anticipating this year. Although I'm not oh my god, I can't wait. I have to have this book now. But I am excited about them. So that's when I'm saying I'm not spastic about it or anything, or super excited. I don't mean that I'm not excited at all. It's just I'm not one of those people who's or at least in this case, I shouldn't say not one of those people. I should say in this case, I'm just not. The first one, these are as always in no particular order. So the first one is The King of Scars, which is another book in the Grisha world. So it is by Leigh Bardugo, and it is about my favorite character in the Grisha universe, and that is, although I still have not read the finished Six of Crows duology, which is all the way up there. I don't know if you can see. Well, I don't think you can see it because it's on the other side. But I've not finished it, so I also love Kaz Brekker, who's another favorite. And that is this is the story. This is a story about what's his name? Nikolai, who becomes the king in the Grisha universe during Alina's time. And I loved his character in the book. He was so fun and charming, and for a moment there, I kind of shipped him with Alina, but then that fell through. And I'm also, one of those people, I've also said in the past, I feel like it's about what Alina, the character, wants. It's not about what us readers want. It's what Leigh Bardugo wrote for Alina to want. It's not what we want. I mean, I know it won't matter because we will always potentially feel different from what the author wrote, and we won't always be content with what the author wrote. And plus, I am not one of those people who's all obsessed with the Darkling. I love the Darkling I do really like and love the Darkling as a bad guy. I think he's a great bad guy. But him and Alina were not going to happen. He killed people. He was a murderer. He tortured his mom. So I don't know how people, yes, as the book pusher, I can't remember her real name, but at the moment, But the book pusher had pointed out the fact that, like, I had commented to her about that and saying it was refreshing that someone wasn't in love with the Darkling, but and her response to me was that, like, she does get that people probably wanted the Darkling to have a redemption arc. They were hoping for a redemptive arc for his character. But he didn't get, like, it seemed like he was gonna get one in the second book, I think, or the second or the first book, when Alina is in the palace and everything, being trained to be, this Grisha with this power of creating light and whatever. But he ends up turning around and showing that he is not gonna get one, which I was cool with. I was not one, as much as I love redemption arcs and, for characters like this, I am cool with the fact that he didn't get one. It doesn't bother me. But I love Nikolai as a character. But I personally love Nikolai as a character. He's my favorite, and I cannot wait to read the book about him and what's going on with him right now as king. And I hope he gets some romance, because, like, he deserves it. He's a little sweetheart. And he deserves to find love and not just marry because it's a good political move. Because that is why he wants to marry Alina. He cared about her, I'm sure, but he didn't love her. So I'm excited for that one. And then the next one I'm gonna say is this year I discovered The Cruel Prince. I finally read it, and I was one of those people who liked it. And I'm not one of those people who was, like, surprised or taken by surprise or caught off guard by the way Cardan was such a douchebag. Because we're dealing with fairies here, and originally fairies were tricksters. And sometimes, and half the time, very malicious. They are not like the Sarah J. Maas fae. Or they're not like J.M. Barrie's version of fairies. These real fairies in the original mythology. Yes, people can do what they want, just as, that's what I say about vampires too. I personally believe that Stephenie Meyer could choose to do what she wants, and I'm not going to pitch a fit because she made her vampire sparkle, and they're not dangerous and scary because they sparkle. But, but yes, that is true. How, fae were tricksters originally in the mythology, so I feel like you can't really. And also, I kind of like toxic relationships that, in the real world probably would not work, or you would be worried about their mental state of mind and think, okay, why are you with this person? Like, I think that is also, I think my friend Terry also likes toxic relationships because she's a huge fan of Clarice and Hannibal as a couple. And I like them too, but I'm not as in love with it because I didn't grow up with it. I mean, I grew up with the movies. But anyway. But yes, normally if I had grown up with reading the books and saw the movies, then yeah, I would probably have been in love with that relationship too, because I have a thing for toxic relationships. Reading about, even if they're not the most healthy. Okay, so the book I'm talking about is the sequel to The Cruel Prince, which is The Wicked King. Because if you know what happens at the end, if you read that book and know what happens at the end, you have a pretty good idea of where the second book is going. Not exactly, but so I'm excited about that. I'm also excited, the next book is A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I know we have a lot of those, but I am a sucker for Beauty and the Beast retellings. So far, I've really enjoyed Hunted, Cruel Beauty. I think it's called Cruel Beauty. I was rather disappointed with A Court of Thorns and Roses when I realized it was supposed to be Beauty and the Beast inspired retelling, but then it was like, and now that I think about it though, it wasn't, I don't think it was meant to be like actually play Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think she was just using references because, well, it's the direction that Sarah J. Maas series went. So I'm always trying to look for more Beauty and the Beast retellings, and I always, when I watch certain movies, I always compare them to the Beauty and the Beast couple, because there are certain couples I feel like have similar vibes to them. So I am definitely excited about this. I'm always wanting to discover Beauty and the Beast retellings, and that's what this one is, A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Okay, so the next one, number 4. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this down or not, because I still am, I read the first book again, and I'm talking about the Song of Ice and Fire series. I read the first book again, and I read I started reading the second book again. But most of my exposure to the Song of Ice and Fire storyline by George R. R. Martin is the show Game of Thrones. So I felt guilty. I read the first 2 books once before, but it's been so long, and I had taken a break from reading the third one, because I did start the third one, so I decided to restart the series, and I haven't come back to it since I restarted it, because I've already, like I said, I read the Game of Thrones, and I started reading A Clash of Kings, which is the second book. But yeah, I am excited about Winds of Winter, just like everybody else. I still have not bought that one book he wrote. It's also A Song of Ice and Fire series related, but it's more of like a prequel book, I think, or like a backstory kind of book. I want to say for the Targaryens, because I think but I'm going by the title, because there's fire in the title, and Fire and Blood, I think it's called. So I think it might be about the Targaryens, but either way, I'm excited for the series, this book in the series. And then last but not least is book number 5, Finale. But again, this is another instance where I felt guilty for putting that down, because I still have not read Legendary, in which actually the next week's Top 5 Wednesday is books that you didn't get to this year, and that one, Legendary, is on that list. So anyway. But I did put it, book number 5 being Finale, which is the 3rd book in the Caraval series. I don't know if that's actually what that series is called. But yes, I am excited about Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Finale by Stephanie Garber is the last book. She is turning into a trilogy in 1 second. Yes, Mom? Let me finish this video up before she calls me again. So those are my top 5 books that I'm anticipating. Top 5 new releases I am anticipating this coming year. What are your top 5 releases that you are most excited about or anticipating? I'll be right there! Feel free to share those comments. Feel free to share those in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe. And okay. And if you enjoyed this video and have enjoyed my videos previously, then please subscribe to my channel. And as always, I hope you are enjoying your reading. Bye.